Hey, it's Marty Lennartz. We are backstage at Lollapalooza for the fourth year. XRT will be bringing you live interviews and reports throughout the weekend from Lollapalooza. And seeing that this is our first report of the weekend, usually the scene setter where we tell you what's going on this weekend, we figured who better to help us tell that story than the person who knows more about Lollapalooza than anyone. He's the founder, he's the godfather, he's the spiritual advisor. He's the gentleman who brought us Jane's Addiction and Porno for Pyros and Satellite Party. And this week, you've certainly been the spokesperson for Lollapalooza. We're here with Perry Farrell. Perry, welcome. Thanks a lot for coming by.
It's a pleasure to be here on the grass and in the shade.
On the grass and in the shade. I think shade is the key word for this weekend.
Shade would be the key word, and we had another word we were using, scene. We were making the scene, man.
We're setting the scene.
Yeah, setting the scene.
So what does that word mean?
Well, for me, I like to think about what we do as more scene maker than actually music maker, because music is obviously a very integral part of what we do, but we take it live, and the people and the audience and the food and the weather and the musicians all together create a scene. And when it happens and it happens right, then the scene's healthy and it evolves.
Well, this year more than ever here at Lollapalooza, it seems as though there's more going on besides the music. Let's start with the letter A, and we'll start with art.
Okay.
The students at the School of the Art Institute have put up art around the grounds.
Yes. Yeah, it's beautiful. So last year, we had an area where they had all their artwork, but it was kind of tucked away, and it was nice to walk through it, but I thought, you know what? Listen, the Parkways Foundation and the Parks District has been planting trees over the 4 years. The city, the nature gets more and more beautiful, and we've got to spread the art out just like they're spreading out the trees. So the art is installed all over the grounds, and it's great and it's gorgeous. And I met up with the artists last night, and everybody's super stoked about this today and this weekend.
Yeah, well, this festival here at Lollapalooza in Grant Park is so unique because it is an urban setting, but we're in this beautiful park. And last night we were hanging out at the Galapalooza, which was a really nice event put on by C3 and Chicago Parkways to raise money for the Buckingham Fountain restoration. Buckingham Fountain is at the 50-yard line of this event.
Exactly.
And through the efforts of Lollapalooza, the fountain will be renovated over the next few years.
We met our quota of $1 million, so we've got $1 million to give to the city to refurbish, do whatever they want to do with that beautiful fountain, and I think we're actually going to exceed that. So I'm hoping that we have some lasers shooting out from it. Maybe they do a dance show at midnight. Who knows? It's yours. Enjoy it.
So before we talk about some of the big bands that are playing here, let's go back to the scene as well. What is at Lollapalooza this year that is new?
Well, I guess off the top of my head, I would tell you that there's an area called Perry's.
And you have your own stage, right?
I'm going to be on stage performing on Saturday, but it is an area that when you head into the entrance, you head north, and it flattens out into all these trees and the rose bushes. Well, Perry's is tucked away there, and it's a true dance club culture with lounge chairs, sangria, and surround sound, proper subsonic, sound system.
Wow, that's amazing. We're talking with Perry Farrell. We are backstage at Lollapalooza. There's also lounges this year, right? There's a beer garden.
Yeah, and then kitty corner from that is the beer garden, where we're serving microbreweries. So we've got Budweiser as our title sponsor for the booze, right? But Budweiser actually has a gang of microbreweries, and man, they're tasty.
Yeah.
So that's that area is really all about sangria and beer and music and also
a
scene.
A place where people can cool off and sit down, because it's going to be really hot this weekend.
Well, you see, that was the mentality. In the daytime, as much as we love listening to the music, the open field is where the main stages are, and it can get so hot. You need to get in the shade. You need to calm down. You need to kind of get plenished, and that's the area to do it.
Now, from your point of view, having been here now for the past 4 years, and going into this with a vision of how a festival like this would work in a city, tell us your feelings about how it has progressed over the years and where it is right now.
Well, I got to tell you, this year in particular, when I came into the city a week early, and just looking around at the city itself, to me, it reminded me of a girl you knew in high school that you thought was pretty. And then when you saw her a few years later, maybe now she's in college, and she is ravishing. And that's what it feels like to me with the city and with Lollapalooza.
Yeah.
We are together growing this great organic beauty. And that's how it feels.
You know what's amazing? I was thinking about this last night when we were at the Lollapalooza and I had a conversation with someone, but 40 years ago this month, in this park and in the streets surrounding, the 1968 Democratic National Convention was taking place.
Yes.
And this park was crazy. Riots were happening.
Yes.
And here we are. 40 years is a lifetime, but still, we're here for just music and peace. And
Yes.
this is really, it is. It's like such a cool experience now when you consider where we are.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. You can turn the soil over, even if it did have a little blood in it, and you can still get some nutrition and something to eat out of the soil if you do it right and you go in there with the right intention.
Absolutely. So music this week. I know everybody here right now is so buzzed about Radiohead's set tonight.
Yes, I know. It's Friday night, man, and it's Radiohead.
Yeah, but Radiohead, you can make the argument that they opened the gate for this festival to occur. When they played here in 2001, they were the first band that the city allowed to play in the park, and it went off so well that it got them thinking, maybe we could do this again.
Yeah, no, that is true. What can we say? I mean, and you've got that Petrillo stage there that is historic for music as well. I think Sly and the Family Stone, it was their final show.
Well,
in the 70s.
Speaking of riots, there was another riot here with Sly and the Family Stone back in 1970, maybe.
That might have been the last show they ever did.
The last show that happened in the park.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
And then throughout the rest of the weekend, big bands, big headlining bands. This is probably the greatest collection of headlining bands at any festival over the past few years that I can think of.
Some are saying it's the best assemblage of musicians in the world.
Right.
At this point, this year anyway. Look, you've got two stages. We are over a mile long. So you want to fill every corner, every square foot with goodness and fun and excitement and music. And so, you've got that far end, and you don't want to abandon or overlook that area. So you would think you have one headliner a night, but for us, it's two headliners.
It really is, and it's interesting too. Kind of fun that 9 Inch Nails is playing, and they played at the very first Lollapalooza.
That they did, and they made history then, and I'm going to assume they're going to make history again because, Trent's live shows the production is just amazing and always incredible and ahead of the curve. And I hear that he's really going to pull out some stops here this year.
It should be amazing. And also Rage Against the Machine. And Wilco is coming back home, playing for the first time in Chicago since February. That will be fantastic. And Kanye West on Sunday night as well.
Yeah, that got a big cheer yesterday. I went and spoke at the After School Matters program, the main office. And when I mentioned Kanye's name, boy, the whole place went off. It went crazy. So I'm expecting that his return to Chicago is going to be received with excitement and just wild expectations for him.
Right. There's another Chicagoan that rumors have been swirling about over the past few days that possibly Barack Obama will be stopping by.
Well, they do have a rumor out there circulating, but I can only confirm one thing. There is a man whose father's from Kenya, who is a native from Chicago, in his 40s, is a Harvard graduate, and he will be here. His name is Tom Morello.
That's absolutely right. Tom is actually stopping by XRT this afternoon to record a program we have called The Eclectic Company, where he's going to guest DJ and play some songs, and we're recording that today, and that'll be on XRT within the next few weeks for sure.
Well, I got to just tell you, Tom Morello is one of the greatest guys I know. And, if you talk about a guy who's changing the world in his own way without being a politician, but speaking politics and knowing what he's talking about, it's Tom Morello.
He's really articulate, and he really knows what's going on, for sure.
Yeah.
So, we're just about ready to get this weekend going. As you can hear in the background, there's a band already playing as the festival has started. So,
that's right.
Thanks so much for stopping by. I'm sure we'll see you for the rest of the weekend.
Yes.
Thanks, Perry. Thanks a lot.
My pleasure.